My name is Steven. I'm 45 years old and I'm the president of my father's construction company. Until about a year ago, I lived with my wife Sarah and my 2 daughters. But now Sarah and I are divorced, and I live apart from my second daughter who is in high school. The cause of divorce was infidelity on my wife's part. The duration of the affair was 17 years. For 23 years before our daughter was born, sometimes they were together, sometimes they were apart. She had been in an illicit relationship with a man who had a wife and child, but that didn't stop them. I don't want you to think I'm an insensitive man who couldn't even notice his wife's infidelity. Of course, it's not like I was too scared to question her, or that I'm a judicial person. I'm just a little more vindictive than most. Well, I think it's time for me to say a few words. I'll start telling you the story of how Sarah and I got divorced. I planned it out meticulously. I'll tell you the story of my revenge over the years, which I took after long days of planning and endurance. I first became aware of Sarah's infidelity when she was pregnant with our second daughter. It was when I left my work cell phone at home and returned home. "What are we going to do? This baby is definitely your child." "Even if you say that, I have a wife and kids." When I walked through the front door, I heard a woman's voice in the living room, and a man's voice I didn't recognize at all. I quietly opened the living room door so as not to make any noise. I peeked into the room through the crack. There was Sarah, my wife, with a young man in his mid-20s to 30s. They were having a very serious discussion. I think I just heard a disturbing word. Whose child is Sarah carrying in her belly? "I told you to pull out. I was ovulating that day." "You're the one who told me not to wear a condom. This has never happened to us in all the times we've been doing this. Why is this happening now? We just had a baby in our family." "I don't know anything about your family situation. My husband already knows I'm pregnant. I can't do anything about it now." I was about to fall to my knees, but I resisted and stayed where I was. If what they were saying was true, our first daughter born 2 years ago was definitely mine. However, the child Sarah is currently carrying was planted by the man there. "What am I going to do? I'm going to get divorced from this." "Don't worry, nobody will know whose baby it is unless you accidentally tell them." "Well, I guess you're right." "Yeah, so raise the kid as if it's your husband's child." "I guess that's the only option." "Why is it that hard to understand? If your husband finds out about this, you're going to lose the good life you have now." "I'm not going to let that happen. My husband is the president of a huge company. I don't want to lose being the wife of a president." "Then do as I say. Even birds do it. We humans are much smarter than birds. If we are careful, we will never find out." "That's true. I'm in." "Who's smarter than birds? You people are so much lower than the birds because you lack the instinctive ability to perceive danger." I left the house before they noticed me in the living room. At this time, Sarah and the other man, I think his name was Eric. Anyways, I didn't catch them right then and there. There were 2 very important reasons why. The first was that Sarah and I already had a daughter, Emily. Emily was small. Fortunately, Emily was more attached to me, her father, than to Sarah, her mother. But when it came to custody after the divorce, it was a different story. Basically, unless there is a big problem, the mother's side has an overwhelming advantage. Especially in the case of infants, it is often the case that the custody goes to the mother's side. The second reason is, I thought it would not do much damage even if I sued the 2 idiots. I heard that Eric just had a baby the other day. Even if the affair is exposed, his wife may not want a divorce. No one wants their newborn child to suffer. At that time, there was still prejudice against single-parent households, and Sarah's family was relatively wealthy. Even if I demanded Sarah for alimony, I'm sure her parents would shoulder the money. That wouldn't be any kind of punishment. I wanted to make them suffer more and more. Months later, Sarah gave birth to a healthy baby girl. Sarah wasn't too keen on it, but we named the child Bella. Bella means beautiful in Italian. She was so beautiful that I almost forgot that she was not my biological child. That's how cute she was. 16 years later, I raised her as if she were my own child. The only 2 people I hate are Sarah and Eric. The unborn child was innocent. But when Bella reached puberty, I began to see a change in the situation. At one point, Sarah and Bella teamed up and started treating me like trash. "Ugh, Dad is here. I lost my appetite." "Hey Bella, you can't treat your dad like that. The reason we are able to eat like this every day is because he works so hard for us." "Emily, you're always taking Dad's side." Bella's got a point. Mom, not you too. Oh, come on, Emily, I don't mind. Gross. You think you're some kind of amazing father with that? It's only natural that you work for us. Don't think you're better than us. I never said anything like that. The reason I was able to stay so calm at this time was because I was proud and confident that I had a hold on Sarah and Bella's weakness. The truth is, I've been making regular requests to a detective agency. I was aware of Sarah and Bella's ongoing interactions with Eric. At this time, Bella already knew that her real father was Eric. They would sneak around behind me and Emily's back and hang out with him. There's a saying, a foster parent is better than a birth parent. In my case, it was the opposite. They'd rather have a handsome father with lots of hair than a nurturing parent who gives their kids lots of love. That's how Bella must have felt. But Sarah's attitude and Bella's attitude was convenient for me. If I knew that they didn't like me, I wouldn't have to go easy on them when I was punishing them. When it comes to revenge, family ties are just a distraction. And then Emily, my eldest daughter, turned 18, and Bella turned 16. I decided to tell Emily the story of Sarah's adultery and how I felt about it. Emily looked back on her mother and sister's attitude. Now it finally makes sense to me, she said to me in a slightly somber voice. What are you going to do now? Sue Mom and Eric? Yeah, of course, I'm going to do that. I have to make sure they pay for the last 17 years. But what is the statute of limitations on adultery? I'm talking about the 3 years from the date of discovery of the affair. You can't charge them with all 17 years of adultery. Just pretend you've only recently realized it. No one will know unless I tell them myself. Are you sure you're ready to make sense of all this? Well, take a look at this. This is a copy of the text Sarah exchanged with Eric. I'm going to assume that Sarah is having an affair with Eric. Isn't that too weak for evidence? Here's Bella's DNA report. I just got it back the other day. I'm going to go with the scenario that I saw these texts between them, and that prompted me to get a DNA test, and I discovered that Bella is not my biological child. Are you against me taking revenge on them? No, I'm not against it. They have been deceiving you for years, right? Bella should be on your side, but since she's not, I can't forgive her either. Let me do something to help. No way. This is my revenge. I told you the truth. I wanted you to be the only one who knew what I was prepared to do. I can't let you get your hands dirty. Dad. Yeah, okay, I won't interfere anymore, but I'm always on your side. Don't ever forget that. Yeah, I know. You are my little girl. You are the only family in the world that I can truly trust. 1 month later. I was with Sarah, Eric, and their daughter Bella, who had been involved in the affair. Eric's wife and child, and my real daughter, Emily, were also here. Sarah and Bella's faces were pale and were dripping with cold sweat. Eric was staring at his wife and children while trembling with fear. All of us are gathered here by the content-certified mail I sent. Everyone here knows about Sarah and Eric's schemes. Alright then, as I have informed you in a prior letter, I will be claiming against the two of you here for alimony and adultery and child support for the past 17 years. I hereby demand a total of $300,000. Do you all have any objections? I do not. This is the amount of atonement he should pay for his crime. Wait a minute. We don't have that kind of money. Why are you asking us? Me and Mom have nothing to do with this. It's up to you alone to make amends, isn't it? What? Do you really think that you can continue to live with us? We're getting a divorce. No, please forgive me. I don't care about these people. I will never see these people again. Please. What? What are you talking about, Dad? The last time I saw you, you were telling me how much you love me. Don't be stupid. Don't say another word. You can deal with the internal strife later. Anyways, Sarah and Bella, I've already packed your things. You can leave the house as soon as this discussion is over. No, are you throwing us away? No, I'm not. I'm just going to help you leave the nest. Just like how birds lay their eggs in other birds' nests, they leave the place right away. I heard that even newborn chicks leave their temporary parents after 20 years. In that respect, you guys are much worse than birds. Don't keep nibbling on other people's shins. Sis, you should say something to him too. This old man is saying such terrible things to my precious family. Don't ask me to help you. I'm angry at you and your misdeeds. At least I don't consider people who took care of us old or disgusting. You knew all along, didn't you? You knew it from the beginning, and you kept me in the dark for years. You're asking us to redeem yourselves for 17 years to damage us so much that we'll never recover. Don't be ridiculous. I only found out about your betrayal a short time ago. Or do you have some proof that I have been aware of your infidelity for a long time? That's... I see. Then you have no further objection. Now please leave this place. This is me and Emily's. This is the home of me and my real family. Afterwards, I filed for $300,000 in alimony for Sarah and Eric. The trial dragged on for a while, but as a result, it was a total victory for me. Including the amount claimed by the wife between us, Sarah and Eric had to pay $160,000 and $180,000 respectively. In addition, Sarah and Eric's daughter, Bella, suffered from the defeat of her parents. She had to drop out of school because her parents could not pay the tuition. She's now working at some corner store. But that's none of my business. I'm a stranger to them now. The other day, my daughter Emily celebrated her 20th birthday. A lot of relatives and friends came to celebrate with us. The birthday party that was supposed to be just the two of us had unexpectedly become a great success. In the midst of all this, I was in the corner of the room, sipping a glass of wine, brought by a relative, and reminiscing about the days when our family was still close. Emily quietly came up to me and said to me, "I know how you feel." When my beloved daughter said those words to me, I couldn't hold back my tears for some reason. And then, my relatives came to console me without knowing anything and accepting my feelings. At that time, I vowed in my heart to continue to protect my beloved family. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. We look forward to seeing you again. Please subscribe to our channel.